Art has always been an important part of culture and can correlate directly to eras, periods, or civilizations. With NFTs, artists from all over the world were given a distribution platform that not only allowed their work to be authenticated, but allowed them to earn royalties for the resale of their work each time as well. This is remarkable and is why we suddenly see a resurgence in art and the interest people have towards it. Now, I'll go over my art and share the process I go through when making NFTs. Art is at its most potent form when it finds expression in important movements. It is at this juncture that art becomes relatable. This is more apparent in the music industry. You'll notice that music relates to a particular time, and the lyrics of each song often reflect something significant in society. Musical themes like love are constant, so you'll notice that lyrics that speak to love often resonate with every generation. In this sense, art really is communication. For my NFTs, I chose to communicate the meme stock saga. This is important to me because it showed how a duality exists between retail traders and large financial institutions. So, in my art, a duality between static images and moving images is often portrayed. The apes are always static, with little to no motion, while the background, which seems to encompass the apes, always flows with absolute and complete freedom. A reflection almost of what I've come to understand of the stock market so far, the plight of retail traders all over the world. Like millions of other retail traders, I felt so hopeless when the buy button was removed in January 2021. But when I saw those same traders band together and cried aloud in one voice that they will not sell, that their hands remain as diamonds, I was inspired. I felt the strength not in myself, but in a collective. Thus, I fell in love with the concept of duality, and in my art, duality is often portrayed. So how do you make NFTs that are attractive and desirable? Well, I use the science of the mere exposure effect when designing my NFTs. Robert Zayunts, having first discovered the mere exposure effect, describes it as follows. The mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon by which people tend to develop a preference for things that are more familiar to them. Thus, I use the image of apes in my work, and to create value, my NFTs took the shape of coins or tokens. This is something new, yet familiar to a community who identifies itself with apes and finance. It's also important to explore what kind of artist you are. Are you more inclined to draw cartoons? Do you fall more towards impressionist, or do you prefer the style of a realist? How about pop art? Do you like that better? This is a practical step that calls upon your strengths and passions, and will likely ignite the creativity inside you. Once you discover an art style that resonates well with you, study it as much as you can. Da Vinci was known to study cadavers to better understand the form and structure of the human body. This allowed him to paint with such flawless expression, and contributed to his distinction and brilliance. This process of observation and learning will save you from making the same mistakes as those that came before you. This doesn't mean you have to exhaust yourself learning every aspect of the style you like, but rather learning exactly what you need to know in order to get the look you want. For example, if I wanted to use Photoshop to make a picture look like a painting, I would search for tutorials online to see how it's done. There are so many ways to do this, so you can even combine methods from different content creators to get the job done. This way, I'm only learning to use the tools that are relevant to my work. Photoshop is great at creating and enhancing images. All you need to do is search for the right tutorial to make your vision come to life. If you wanted to make shapes, however, Illustrator would be the best way to go about doing it. Illustrator is great for making art using vectors. Vectors are points, lines, curves, and shapes that are based on mathematical formulas. which means you can pretty much resize them to anything you like. Again, going on the principle of learning from others, you can go to sites like FreePic or VectEasy to get simple shapes that you can use to help build up your work. Keep in mind that you're not trying to steal the work of others, so please avoid taking their work without crediting them first. This is my approach to making art. Potato potato, we each have our own. Tell me a bit about yours in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you guys again in the next video. This is Suarez signing out.